Here's something most people never hear during a regular office visit. While you're asleep, your kidneys are still on the job. In fact, nighttime is when some of their most important work continues behind the scenes. They help filter your blood, balance fluids, regulate minerals, support healthy blood pressure, and clear out waste your body built up throughout the day. And what many people don't realize is this. What you eat in the last hour or two before bed can influence how well that overnight process goes. Most conversations about kidney health focus on what you need to cut back on. Less sodium, less potassium, less phosphorus, less processed food. And yes, those things matter. But there's another side to the conversation that often gets ignored. Instead of only asking what should be removed, it also makes sense to ask, what can you add that may help support your kidneys overnight? That's what this video is about. Tonight, we're going over 8 fruits commonly recognized as kidney-friendly, especially for people trying to make smarter evening food choices. These fruits provide antioxidants, fiber, anti-inflammatory compounds, and important vitamins without putting the same strain on the kidneys that some higher potassium fruits can create. And make sure you stay all the way to fruit number 8, because that one comes with an important caution that many people never hear. It sounds healthy on the surface, but the details matter more than most realize. If you enjoy simple health information explained clearly, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. And let me know in the comments where you're watching from and what time it is where you are right now. Now, before we get into the list, let's take just a moment to understand why these fruits matter in the first place. #How your kidneys work. Overnight, your kidneys are 2 bean-shaped organs located just below the ribcage, one on each side of your spine. They may not be large, but they perform an enormous amount of work every single day. Together, they filter your blood, remove excess fluid, clear waste products, help control blood pressure, support red blood cell production, and keep the balance of minerals in your body within a healthy range. By the time bedtime comes around, your kidneys have already spent the day handling a constant stream of metabolic activity. But the work doesn't stop when you lie down. At night, your body shifts into repair mode. Blood pressure is supposed to follow a normal overnight pattern and dip while you sleep. Hormones change, inflammation levels shift, circulation slows into a different rhythm, and all of that affects how well the kidneys are able to do their job. This is especially important for older adults and for people already dealing with chronic kidney disease. Here's the challenge. Your kidneys benefit from foods rich in antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds because chronic inflammation and oxidative stress can contribute to kidney damage over time. But many foods that are rich in those compounds are also high in potassium. For someone with weakened kidney function, too much potassium can become dangerous because the kidneys may not remove it effectively. That's where the fruits in this video become helpful. Each one offers supportive nutrients without carrying the same potassium burden as fruits like bananas, oranges, avocados, or kiwi. So let's get into the list. #fruit number 1. Tart cherries, the first fruit, is one of the most unique choices for nighttime, and it may be the one best suited specifically for an evening routine. Tart cherries stand out because they contain natural plant compounds linked to sleep support, including phytomelatonin and other beneficial antioxidants. That matters because good sleep is not just about feeling rested the next day. It also matters for your kidneys. When sleep is disrupted, blood pressure may not drop the way it should during the night. That normal overnight dip is important. If it doesn't happen, the kidneys can remain under higher pressure for longer than they should, and over time that may contribute to stress on the tiny blood vessels involved in filtering. Tart cherries may help support a healthier sleep pattern, and that creates an indirect benefit for the kidneys. They also contain anti-inflammatory compounds that may help reduce oxidative stress in the body. That's another reason they're so often discussed in connection with healthy aging and nighttime recovery. Another benefit is that tart cherries are generally considered a lower potassium fruit choice, which makes them more practical for people trying to be careful with kidney-friendly eating. The key detail here is the type of cherry. Tart cherries and sweet cherries are not the same thing nutritionally. Sweet cherries are a different consideration and may not fit the same way into a kidney-conscious diet, especially in larger amounts. So if you're choosing cherries as a bedtime fruit, tart cherries are the better option. Hashtag, hashtag, how to use them. A practical serving would be half a cup to 1 cup of tart cherries or 4 to 8 ounces of unsweetened tart cherry juice. Try them about 30 to 60 minutes before bed. If possible, choose unsweetened tart cherry products, especially if you're also watching blood sugar. Hashtag, fruit number 2. Blueberries. Blueberries have earned their reputation as a superfood. And for kidney health, that reputation is well-deserved. They are packed with anthocyanins, the antioxidant compounds that give blueberries their deep blue color. These compounds are strongly linked with reduced oxidative stress and lower inflammation, both of which matter when you're trying to protect kidney function over time. Blueberries are also a good source of fiber, vitamin C, vitamin K, plant compounds that support blood vessel health, and importantly, they remain a low potassium choice in moderate portions, making them much easier to fit into a kidney-conscious meal plan than many other fruits. This is especially helpful because kidney disease and cardiovascular disease often travel together. Supporting blood vessel health, reducing inflammation, and protecting circulation can all have ripple effects that matter for the kidneys too. For adults over 60, blueberries are one of those rare foods that do several helpful things at once without requiring a lot of effort. They're easy to store, easy to portion, easy to digest, and easy to add to a bedtime snack. Hashtag, how to use them. A good evening portion is half a cup of fresh blueberries or half a cup frozen blueberries work very well because they keep their nutritional value and can feel especially refreshing in the evening. If you want something simple, blueberries can be eaten by themselves. If you want something a little more filling, they pair well with a small amount of plain, unsweetened yogurt. Hashtag, fruit number 3. Strawberries. Strawberries are one of the sweetest and most satisfying fruits you can enjoy while still staying in a kidney-friendly range. They're naturally low in calories, rich in vitamin C, and full of antioxidant compounds that help defend the body from inflammation and oxidative damage. They also tend to be very low in potassium compared with many other fruits, which is one of the main reasons they work so well for people who are trying to be careful with kidney-supportive food choices. Another thing that makes strawberries useful at night is that they feel like a treat without acting like dessert overload. A lot of older adults find themselves wanting something sweet at the end of the day. Strawberries can meet that need in a much better way than cookies, pastries, ice cream, or sugary packaged snacks. Their fiber also helps slow digestion a bit, which may help prevent the sharp blood sugar swings that can come from more processed evening sweets. And since blood sugar control matters for kidney health, especially in people with diabetes or prediabetes, that's an important advantage. Strawberries also fit beautifully with other fruits on this list, so they're easy to combine into a bedtime bowl. Hashtag, how to use them. A simple serving is half a cup of fresh strawberries or half a cup frozen. Thawed slightly, keep them whole or slice them just before eating. If you want to make the snack more satisfying, pair them with a spoonful of plain yogurt or mix them with blueberries. Hashtag, fruit number 4. Apples. Apples may be one of the most underestimated fruits when it comes to kidney support. Because they're so common, people often overlook them. But apples are one of the most reliable, practical, and gentle fruits you can choose, especially in the evening. They are naturally low in sodium, low in phosphorus, relatively low in potassium, rich in fiber, full of antioxidant compounds, especially in the peel, and that peel is important. Much of the fiber and a large share of the antioxidants are found in or near the skin. So if you peel the apple, you remove a big part of what makes it so beneficial. Apples are also a smart choice for people who are trying to support blood sugar stability overnight. Whole apples digest much more slowly than fruit juice, and that slower digestion can help avoid the rapid sugar spikes that are harder on the body. For many older adults, that makes apples a very practical nighttime option. They're also easy to portion. One medium apple is usually enough to satisfy without being too heavy before bed. Another benefit is how simple they are. No special preparation, no short shelf life, no mess. You can keep them in the kitchen and build them easily into a routine. Hashtag, how to use them. Try. One medium apple with the peel on, eat it slowly in the evening. either by itself or with a light sprinkle of cinnamon. If you enjoy cinnamon, that can be a great addition because it pairs well with the natural sweetness of the apple and may help make the snack feel more comforting at bedtime. Hashtag fruit number 5. Grapes. A lot of people are surprised to learn that grapes can fit into a kidney-friendly eating plan. But in moderate portions, grapes are often considered a good lower potassium fruit choice, especially compared with fruits that are much more potassium dense. Red and purple grapes are especially interesting because they contain resveratrol and other flavonoids concentrated in the skin. These compounds have been studied for their relationship to inflammation, circulation, and cardiovascular health. And once again, that matters for the kidneys, because kidney function and blood vessel health are deeply connected. If circulation suffers, the kidneys suffer. Grapes also offer a practical advantage for people who are on fluid restrictions. When frozen, they become a slow-eating, cooling snack that can feel refreshing without requiring you to drink a large volume of liquid. That can make them especially helpful for people who want something soothing in the evening but are trying to keep fluids under control. The main thing is portion size. Grapes are easy to overeat because they're small and sweet. So this is one fruit where mindful serving really matters. Hashtag how to use them. A good serving is a small handful. About half a cup if you want a refreshing nighttime option. Freeze them and eat them slowly, one by one. Red and purple grapes are often the best choice if you want the most antioxidant benefit. Hashtag fruit number 6. Raspberries. Raspberries may be the highest fiber fruit on this list for the amount you get in a small serving. And fiber matters more for kidney health than many people realize. Why? Because fiber does more than support digestion. A high-fiber fruit like raspberries helps support the gut microbiome. And that matters because the health of the gut and the health of the kidneys are more connected than people once thought. A healthier gut environment may help reduce systemic inflammation, and reducing inflammation is one of the long-term goals in protecting kidney function. Raspberries also help slow digestion and improve satiety. That means they can be a very useful fruit at night if you're trying to avoid reaching for salty snacks, chips, crackers, or packaged sweets later in the evening. They give you sweetness, texture, and satisfaction while still fitting into a careful eating plan. Like the other berries on this list, raspberries also provide valuable antioxidants, and because they're lower in potassium than many tropical or denser fruits, they're easier to include for people who need to be mindful of kidney load. Hashtag how to use them. A good portion is half a cup fresh or half a cup frozen raspberries pair especially well with tart cherries or strawberries if you want to build a mixed berry bowl before bed. Hashtag fruit number 7. Pineapple. Pineapple surprises people. Because it's tropical and a little acidic, it doesn't always seem like the kind of fruit that would belong on a kidney-friendly list. But in moderate portions, pineapple is often considered one of the safer tropical choices for people trying to limit potassium. What makes pineapple especially interesting is a natural enzyme called bromelain. Bromelain has been widely discussed for its anti-inflammatory properties, and while fresh pineapple isn't a magic cure for anything, it does provide one more way to bring plant-based supportive compounds into the diet without turning to supplements first. Pineapple is also bright, refreshing, and naturally satisfying in the evening when people want something sweet but don't want a heavy snack. Fresh pineapple may also contribute to a relaxed evening routine because it contains compounds involved in the body's normal pathways related to serotonin and melatonin production. It's not a sedative, of course, but it can still fit nicely into a calming bedtime pattern. The important detail here is freshness. If you want pineapple for its bromelain content, fresh pineapple is the better choice. Canned pineapple often goes through heat processing, which can reduce much of that natural enzyme activity. Hashtag how to use them. A simple serving is half a cup of fresh pineapple chunks. Keep the portion moderate, and if possible choose fresh over canned. Hashtag fruit number 8. Cranberries, the one with a catch. Now we come to the fruit that needs the most careful explanation. Cranberries have had a reputation for supporting urinary tract health for many years, and there is a reason people connect them with that topic. Certain compounds in cranberries may help make it harder for some bacteria to stick to the urinary tract lining. That's why cranberry products are often discussed in connection with UTI prevention, especially in people who get recurrent urinary tract infections. But here's the part many videos leave out. Cranberries are not a treatment for an active urinary tract infection or kidney infection. If someone already has an infection, cranberry juice is not a substitute for proper medical care. That's the first caution. The second caution is even more important for kidney health. Most cranberry products people buy are not actually the healthiest form of cranberry. They're often loaded with added sugar. Cranberry juice cocktail, sweetened dried cranberries, and many heavily marketed cranberry drinks may sound healthy, but they can carry a significant sugar load. And too much added sugar works against kidney health rather than supporting it. So the real benefit, when cranberries are used thoughtfully, comes from unsweetened cranberry juice, unsweetened dried cranberries in small portions, raw or frozen cranberries, not the sugary versions most people grab without checking the label. There's one more thing worth mentioning. If you take a blood thinner, especially warfarin, cranberry use is something you should bring up with your pharmacist or doctor, because this is one of those food interactions people are often told to check on before making it a regular habit. Hashtag how to use them. If you want to include cranberries, choose unsweetened 100% cranberry juice in a small portion or a small amount of unsweetened cranberries. Avoid juice cocktails and highly sweetened cranberry products. Hashtag a simple bedtime fruit bowl for kidney support. Now that you know all 8 fruits, here's an easy way to put them into practice tonight. Take a small bowl and combine half a cup of tart cherries, a small handful of blueberries, 3 to 4 strawberries. This combination works beautifully because it brings together several useful benefits at once. You get plant compounds linked to sleep support from tart cherries, anthocyanins, and antioxidant protection from blueberries, vitamin C, sweetness, and low potassium value from strawberries, fiber, and anti-inflammatory support from the combination as a whole. It's light enough for the evening, easy to digest, and simple enough to repeat regularly. If you want to go one step further, you can pair that bowl with a small glass of unsweetened tart cherry juice. No powders, no complicated recipes, no supplement stack. Just a straightforward evening fruit routine built around foods that are generally considered kidney-friendly. Hashtag when you should talk to your doctor or dietitian first. Even though these fruits are commonly considered kidney-friendly, general advice is still not the same thing as personal medical advice. That matters a lot. If you have stage 4 or stage 5 chronic kidney disease, dialysis treatments, strict potassium limits, strict fluid restrictions, diabetes that's difficult to control, a history of kidney stones, recurring infections, or you take blood thinners, then your own healthcare team should guide the details. In early kidney disease, potassium may not need to be restricted much at all unless blood tests show a problem. But in later stages, even lower potassium foods may need to be counted more carefully. That's why personal lab work matters. If you haven't had recent kidney labs and you're over 60, it may be worth asking about creatinine, eGFR, electrolytes. Including potassium, those numbers help give a much clearer picture of what your kidneys are dealing with and how cautious you need to be with food choices. Hashtag a realistic mindset that helps. One of the biggest mistakes people make after hearing they need to protect their kidneys is becoming too afraid of food. They start cutting out nearly everything. Fruit becomes scary. Flavor becomes scary. Variety disappears. And suddenly the diet becomes so restrictive that it's hard to maintain. That kind of fear-based eating usually doesn't last. A better mindset is to ask, what can I still enjoy safely and wisely? That's where these 8 fruits can help. They allow you to add something back in. Something fresh. Something naturally sweet. Something rich in antioxidants. Something that feels supportive instead of punishing. And that mental shift matters. When healthy eating feels like you're adding care instead of only removing pleasure, it becomes much easier to stay consistent. Hashtag your action plan for tonight. If you want to keep this simple, here's what to do. Start with 3 of the easiest fruits on the list. Tart cherries, blueberries, strawberries. Build a small evening bowl and eat it 30 to 60 minutes before bed. Then over the next several days, you can rotate in apples, grapes, raspberries, pineapple, cranberries. If using the unsweetened form, keep portions moderate, pay attention to how you feel. And if you have more advanced kidney disease, make sure your choices fit your personal eating plan. The goal is not perfection. The goal is consistency. Hashtag, final thoughts, your kidneys work hard all day and all night. And while no single fruit can fix kidney disease, the right evening choices can support your body in meaningful ways over time. That's why these 8 fruits are worth knowing about. They offer a practical balance, lower potassium than many other fruits, antioxidants support, anti-inflammatory benefits, fiber, and in some cases, even support for sleep or urinary health if you're trying to age well, protect your kidneys, and build better nighttime habits. This is one of the simplest places to start. So tonight, instead of reaching for cookies, candy, or salty processed snacks, try something that gives your body a little more support while you sleep. And if you do make the bedtime fruit bowl, let me know in the comments which 3 fruits you're starting with. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.